publishers for special sales. Brian is the author of How to Make Real Money Selling Books Without Worrying About Returns. This is the ultimate do-it-yourself guide to selling your books to non-bookstore buyers in large quantities with no returns. He also wrote Beyond the Bookstore, a publisher's weekly book, a primer on non-bookstore marketing. So please help me welcome Brian Judd.
Thank you very much. Great to be back here. I understand that I was the first speaker here in this room 3 years ago. And then Becky reminded me that today I'll be speaking at 11:11 on 11/11. Right. So it's a great event. I just want to try something, see if I have all your names. I try to do that sitting down. Let's see if I can do it. It's Patricia, Diana, and Lynn. If anybody moved, I may not catch you. Sky, and I didn't catch your name. Nita, Rob, Jenny, what? Jenny, Chris, Joy, Lee, Mark, Margot, Woody, Kelly, okay. Matthew, Brian, John, came in late. Okay. Jason, Bob, Margaret, Karen, Pam.
How do you do that?
I don't know, I'm not done yet. Tom, Jeff, Steve, Deborah, Marilyn, Carl, Sharon, Linda, Judy, I don't recall your name. Bob, Dennis, Sarah, Carol, Pam, Bev, Val, John, David, moved, Kelly, Linka, Karen, Russell, Christina, Mark, Tricia, didn't catch your name, and Wendy. Did I get them? Too much? All right, so something moved in. I was sitting down. Becky, I'm sorry. I couldn't get that. But I started actually 20 seconds is a good time, because when you're talking, if you're leaving a voicemail message, you want to have a good 20-second voicemail message. Because a lot of times when you're calling people, you get voicemail, obviously. And so you have that good, you follow the AIDA sequence: attention, interest, desire, and action. You get the person's attention, build a little interest, desire, and then you close in 20 seconds. But I started my publishing career when I was laid off my job on November 9th, 1990 at 10:37 a.m. But I'll get over it. And I thought, I didn't want to go back into the corporate world. I thought, I want to try something different. And how hard could it be to write a book? So I thought, I had two twin boys about to graduate from college, so I started compiling some notes to help them get a job and move out of the house. And it worked. So I wrote a book called Job Search 101 about how to get a job using the principles of marketing. But before I did a lot of research. I didn't write. I bought Dan Pointer's book, and I highlighted almost every page, but unfortunately I used a black marker. So I had to buy a new one. So, but it was, I'm sorry.
No, I'm going to be rude
Okay.
and walk with the camera. Yes, I'm going to go back here.
Sorry. I'll try to stand. But then, what's the talking? I really did. I went to the library, and I'm not a library, to a bookstore, and it had all the authors alphabetically by genre. So I went to the job search area, the career area, and where would Judd be? And so I looked at what's nearby me, what sizes are they, what price are they, what do they cover, what don't they cover, what do the covers look like? It really helped me come out with a better book. And I remember one time after my book was out, there was one copy of Job Search 101 on the shelf. And I wanted to see, why did people buy my book? And so this one lady picked it off the shelf, and she's holding it, and I walked over to her. I said, "That's my book." She held it to her chest and said, "I saw it first." I got embarrassed. I ordered it before, so she had to buy it. And so it works. But it's a little research that can really help out in there. I finally finished my first book. Went to the liquor store to buy a bottle of champagne to celebrate. And checking out, the clerk said, "There's some special event?" Yes, I finished my first book. I said, "Oh, a slow reader, huh?" So that was my start in career in getting into the job search, getting into the marketing. But I built a business out of it, built a career in this whole organization. So the whole thing called publishing. So that's what we'll talk about today, about some things I learned. What I really did, I started out selling my book through bookstores. Went to Barnes & Noble, got in there, and a lot of these aren't even around anymore. But it didn't sell well. So I thought, I was trying to find a different way to sell it. So I thought, a really good question to ask yourself, who else needs the information in my book? So it's a job search book, so I thought college students, state governments. I started selling to these people. But my real impetus for doing this, my motivation, is before publish on demand. So I had 5,000 books in the garage. And my wife kept him one day, Brian, I want to make one thing perfectly clear. I said, what's that? She said, the garage. So I had to figure out, what's a new way of selling books? And so I started contacting all these people, and this one thing came to the next. I just started selling books to non-bookstore buyers and built my business on that. So some of the things we'll be looking at today are the what to expect today. We're going to talk about special sales, non-bookstore marketing, and I go through a step-by-step program about how to do that. And then how do most publishers see book marketing like that? That was my impression of book marketing. Just kept putting money, more money. And it didn't work out. And the old saying is, if you do what you always did, you get what you always got. So I think I've got to find something different, some new way of doing it. So that's what book marketing looks like. Now, what does special sales look like? So it's something that most people they'll just look at one thing, and that's all they see. That everybody else is selling books on Amazon, on Barnes & Noble. That's the only way to sell books. So that's what I focus on. Just tell me, what do you see here? Tree. Most people see a tree. That's the bookstores. Anybody see any faces in the trees?
Yes.
Money tree.
Anybody see any faces?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark's got it.
Oh, yeah.
Little faces. There are 10 faces in there.
3, 4,
You can see
5,
that.
6.
Everybody see those faces?
Yeah.
That's my definition of a special sale. That people they're looking at that, all they see is the Amazon, the Barnes & Noble. They don't look at these other opportunities, right? Hope to show you today. Does everybody see that? I don't really think I'm making this up. that we'll be looking at what are those faces? What makes up those faces? Joey, can you see that?
Yeah.
So that's look at selling this to other things, other people. That's something that you're probably already doing. Most of us are looking at this. They do the e-commerce, they do the bookstores, they do snail mail, email. One thing I did, I thought, who wants a college student to get a job more than the student does? The parents. I got a list of the parents of graduating seniors and sent them a direct mail program with information about my book and a video. And they sold tens of thousands of those because the parents wanted to get the kids a job and get them out of the house. So that worked out. Some people did sell the rights, international. I had Job Search 101 translated into Spanish. El Trabajo 101. Sounded good to me. I don't speak Spanish. What's 101 mean? Beginner basic course in the U.S. Outside the U.S., it doesn't mean anything. That could have been Job Search 726. That just didn't make any difference. So I had the whole thing retranslated. And I don't speak Spanish, but I learned the definition of one word in Spanish. Mañana. When will my translation be done? Mañana. I learned mañana doesn't mean tomorrow. It means not today. There's a big difference. So you have to be careful when you have your information translated in a foreign language. Heard of the book, The Grapes of Wrath? That's translated into Japanese as The Angry Raisins. The first draft. So this is what most people do this. So that's what, you're probably doing most of that. But let's look at what we're looking at today is some different things. Of the non-retail, selling to corporations, associations. Nita and Rob are doing that now with their book. They went to an association to get some, well, hopefully that will occur. You get that. But you can get sponsorships, you can get advance money, you can get co-publishing. So a lot of opportunity. We'll talk about those. But associations, corporations, libraries, schools, military, non-trade retailers, these are all we'll talk about these things, but that's all, what special sales is. New ways of selling your books, hopefully in large, non-returnable quantities. So why sell to non-bookstore buyers? This is an actual bookstore. And if your book is down here or up there or somewhere, it's spying out, it's very difficult to get good exposure in something like that. So you really have to, this is actually like an Amazon too. You go there and sense it, if you put, somebody's talking about, like Jason was talking about, somebody goes there and puts an SEO and then it just, all the other books come up. So it's the same concept, but when you're selling to corporations, they're only looking at one book at a time, and that's yours. So how many ISBNs did Bowker assign last year? Anybody want to take a guess?
20,000. Oh,
20,000?
A million?
Somewhere between 20,000 and a million. It's close, 768 plus thousand ISBNs, just last year. So you're competing against these for shelf space. So there's got to be a better way of doing it. So look at that. So special sales, stop selling your books. An important point of non-bookstore marketing is that you're selling what your book does, not what it is. You look at the content. My content helped people get a job. They didn't want to buy an 8.5 by 11 book. They had enough of those. They wanted a job quickly, so I had to tell them how my content would help them get a job quickly. How is that product used? Arm & Hammer baking soda.
Lots of ways.
What are some ways Arm & Hammer baking soda is used?
Brushing your teeth.
Brushing your teeth,
Odor removal.
odor removal, baking, cleaning pots and pans. How has the product changed?
It hasn't.
It hasn't. It's the same thing with your book. Your book is a product, but it means different things to different people. Retailers want store traffic and profit per square foot. The media wants a good guest for their show. They want to build their audience. A library wants to help their patrons. Corporations want to sell more of their dog food. So these are some things. It's the same book, but people are using it in different ways. So you really need to find out how to do this. Here's an example of one book with one of our clients. It's a fiction book about whitewater rafting in Idaho. And we took that to, it's fiction, so we took it to the manufacturers of canoes and kayaks and rafts. And they bought X thousand of them, put their logo on the cover, and gave them to Dick's Sporting Goods, the Sports Authority back then, in Idaho. And anybody came in to look at their kayak or look at their canoe, they got a free copy of the book as a thank you. The companies that put on these events, they bought the books. And you choose my rafting event, you get a free copy of this book as a thank you. All the national parks, all the state parks in Idaho got this. All the B&Bs, hotels, they put them in the rooms. If you like the room, you keep it, we'll add it to your bill. Went to the both airport stores in Idaho, and that was fiction, but we took the content. People wanted to use it different ways, or help them differently. So that's what we do. We had to find out those ways in which we could make it work for them. Mining your business. We talked about this afternoon's topic, but it's something that you look at your backlist. The copyright information is not that critical. It's how current is the information. If you're trying to sell a book on Windows 7 now, it probably won't work very well. But if it's something on an evergreen topic, a lot of these books over here are evergreens. There is no time limit, so the companies are looking for that information. Form is a variable. We talked before about e-books or printed books. I went to the state of Connecticut, where I live, and went to them. They love Job Search 101. And how many you want to buy? None. Why not? Well, we do a lot of workshops, and you put a paper-bound book on here, and it just falls out. It doesn't stay flat. So it just comes back up upon itself. So the state said, we do too many of these workshops, we can't use your book, it doesn't lay flat. Took it to Staples, cut off the binding, put a wire binding on it, took it back to the state, and they said, we love it. They put in a standing order for 8,000 books a quarter, because I just changed I never touched the word. Never touched anything, just changed the binding. See, the form is a variable, they don't care. And then I said, who's teaching your workshop? So we have a lot of different people doing it. I'll do it. I got a job with the state teaching workshops how to get a job and use my book as the textbook for it. So actually sold my book as a textbook to colleges. And it was not a lot of sales, but it worked. It got some exposure for me. Did a lot of presentations on campus to colleges. And the last page is a story that I think ties the whole concept of the job search together from a marketing perspective. So I got a call one time from the young lady from the University of Texas. She said, "You Brian Judd?" "Yes, I am." "Author of Job Search 101? "Yes, I am." "And what do you mean by that story?" So I told her. She said, "Thank you. Our professor said there'll be a question on our test tomorrow. What did the author mean by the story?" And she called the author. So I hope she got a good grade in it. Actually, part of that story is she got my number. I have an 800 number, 800 in the front of the book, and it's 800-562-4357. I was doing a Job Search 101, and the highest rated morning drive time radio show in New York City back then was CBS 101. So I gave 10 copies of my book to give away. 10th caller gets a copy of Job Search 101. And so, "Can I be on your show?" So they said, "Sure." So I used that as a highest rated morning drive time show in New York City. And I thought, if I'm saying 800-562-4357, they'll never know, they'll never be able to write it down, they'll forget it. But that spells 800 job help. So I would say which is true, that's my number now, you can call that, but it's 800 job help. People could remember that. By the time they got to the office, they could they remember job help. But that 562-4357 is very close to the White Swan, Washington Police Department. I get calls all the time. This one guy, Saturday morning, "I want to report a stolen car." "Sorry, you got the wrong number." "Just my luck. My car was stolen, I lost my job." "Lost your job?" "Okay, well, I sold my book." Always be ready to sell. The 800 number it works, so more people call me up. So long-term perspective, it takes time to put this together. As a lot of you know, that it just takes time. Because Lee was talking about we have the book about the quantum physics, or John. Something like that. We're talking about earlier during the Q&A session. But it just takes a long time. He was writing it for 40 years. So it takes a long time for this to occur. Solving problems, and he said large quantity non-returnable sales. We had solving problems. We went to a consumer goods company, and they were introducing a new stain remover. And they wanted some way to introduce it. So we had one of our clients had a barbecue recipe cookbook with a lot of gothy barbecue recipes in it. So we created a little 4-page little booklet, and they said that their stain remover will remove any stain caused by these gothy barbecue recipes. They bought 300,000 of them to test. See, that's testing. Hopefully that goes well by several million of them. But we solved their problem. We helped them. We weren't trying to sell more of these books. We were trying to help them solve their problem. And by the way, we made some money off it. Large quantity non-returnable sales. Just recently, we had a company that makes. The book title was "Eating Your Way Through Cancer." The book, if it's radiation or chemotherapy, it's a cookbook to help you get through that as well as possible. So a company that creates or that makes these chemicals for that bought 32,000 of these to give to doctors. The doctors give them to the patients who are going through the chemo. So you see how we're solving problems. We're trying to make these long-term or large quantity non-returnable sales. And this is what you can do. But it takes a while to put those types of orders together. Here's, know the customer as your customer. Particularly in retail. If you're selling it to an airport store, who's the customer of an airport store?
Everyone.
Excuse me?
Everyone.
Everyone. That's not a good. I'll ask people, who is your target market? They'll say everyone. Everybody who buys books. And that's not a good way to sell books. It's very hard to target those people. We'll get into target marketing soon, as Judy pointed out during the Q&A session. We'll talk about that. But it's something like, I do a lot of consulting, and people would call me up and say, who's your target reader? Oh, everybody. You know, what's your marketing plan? Well, I'm going to get on Oprah and sell 20 million copies. So I call that the Phantom of the Oprah. It's probably not going to happen. You know, well, not going to happen now because she's not on it, but back then. So you have to know the customer, like a Hallmark store, the different customer than would have Spencer gifts. This is what I did for my Job Search 101, and wrote Coping with Unemployment, which is a great example, really good example of a bad cover. It's negative. You make a Xerox copy of that. The only thing that shows up is the white, how to triumph over negative. That didn't sell well in bookstores. People didn't want to be seen buying a book called Coping with Unemployment. So I found a catalog called the Brown Wrapper Bookstore. They sell non-pornographic books that people don't want to be seen buying. And it sold very well on that. And Help Wanted was another book. And I try to sell Job Search 101 to college students, and they're frugal, they're cheap, and they didn't want to spend $14.95. So I took the chapters out, put those in little booklets. Resumes, cover letters, interviewing. The colleges bought those and gave them to the kids, students. So the students got what they wanted, the colleges got more students graduating with a job as what they wanted, and I got paid. So it was a good win-win-win situation. And I took those, I changed the word student to citizen, and changed a few other things, but sold those to state governments. And Connecticut and other states, like that Spiral Bound book, I took that to other states to do that. This Art of Interviewing is a video. And I sent that to the parents of the students with the Job Search 101. But so the state of Connecticut and then other states, when people sign up for the unemployment benefits, they get a package of the booklets, plus they have to watch the video. So I sold. The important thing about that in pricing also is that on those booklets, I made about $0.10 each, because I printed 100,000 or so at a time. If the schools bought 10,000, I printed their name on them. But it was something that I only made 10 cents per booklet. Printing cost 12 cents, I made 10 cents on it. I sold over 2 million of them. So that adds up. In pricing and special sales, it's cost plus. It's not percentage off of the top. So then the economy got better in the late 90s, and for which I take full credit. And so the art of interviewing was about the gestures, facial expression, eye communication, things that I couldn't really write about, so I put that in the video. So then the same concepts were about how does an author perform on the air? Eye communication, gestures, posture, facial expression. So I did the art of You're on the Air, and 2 companion guides. I sold those as a video package for $99. Sold that to authors, to publishers, to publishing groups. But I got a call one day from the Civil Engineers Society. They wanted to buy 100 of these books, 100 packages. Sure. Why? I said, well, we have 100,000 of our civil engineers around the country, and if a bridge goes down in Dubuque, we want them to go on the air to describe why the bridge fell down. So we want them media trained. We have 100,000 members. So why don't you buy 100,000? And he didn't like that idea, but they ended up buying about 1,000 or so. But see the difference. I took the content, then I took that concept and went to other associations and made that work, made that happen. Then I took that the same concept. I built a line of books. I did books on planning, on distribution, on product development, on pricing, and sold those to publishers and so forth. Then did these books, special sales books, and then a sales catalog. We do that now. We put books in the catalog and sell them. I just wanted to show you how I built this product line since November 9th, 1990 at 10:38 a.m. when I started. And this is just things that, but all these were sold not as products, but to solve a problem. And that's just the point I want to make on that. So, what are the steps? If you want to sell just to retail, first of all, defining your target reader is really important. And we'll talk about these steps as we go through this. But then you can contact a distributor for retailers, and you're done if you want to. If you don't want to go into the corporate area or associations, here you're setting up for airport stores and supermarkets, discount stores. And you have distributors that are doing the selling for you. So you don't have to go out and call on these buyers. But if you do want to do that, you can contact a buyer. If a buyer, many cases, then you say, we'll buy a case of books. So you have the initial meeting, then you follow up and you sell them a case of books. Or you write the proposal, sales presentation, and we'll go over this in more depth this afternoon. But I just want to show you how this all fits in to how this works. So define your target readers. This is something that we had a lot of discussion with earlier. Lance's book about that, or Nita was talking about the importance of a platform and coming up with the trying to increase your social presence. I'm not real big on that, in the sense that you can have 10,000 followers or friends, but how many of those are going to buy books? What I suggest is find these centers of influence, like Joy asked about blogging, or Jenny asked about how you find bloggers. These are the people you want to contact, so they're spreading the word about your book. You need to find out, and we'll go through this afternoon in depth, but the 5 W's: who, what, where, when, and why. Who are they? What do they want to buy? They want to buy ebooks. They want to lose weight. They want to save money. They want to be a better parent. They want to be a better chef. That's what they want. They don't want a book. But so why are they going to buy it? Who, what, where? Where do they shop? That's a really important question. That's where your books need to be. When do they shop? The college students shop the day before they graduate for job search books. But it was something that there's a new market of 1.5 million people every year. So this is something, but it was seasonal. Who, where, when, who, what, where, when, why. Why do they buy? And that's where you're solving the problems. That's where you have to let them know. And this afternoon we'll show how to do a PAR statement. We have a problem, action, result. And that's what they buy, that result for that. And then we talk about some publicity, niche reviews. I'll talk about that in a moment. But once you have this information about who they buy, then you organize them in segments. And like for children's books, each of these people, each of these groups buys for a different reason. But if you have a children's book, you can sell it to bookstores and sell it online. I have a newsletter I send out every other week. It's a internet newsletter, digital newsletter. If you'd like a copy of that, if you'd like me to send it to the mailing list, please put your name on here. But if you'd like a copy of the slides, just put your name, email address. If you'd like a copy of the slides, just write the letter S next to it. If you want newsletter, put N. Newsletter N and slides S, and I'll send you the slides for that. But so you don't have to copy all these. So I'm saying that you will have that. So, but these are all different things. And so there are different. You have this word for fiction. Anybody have? There were several fiction. Who has fiction? Okay. Here's a. What we do for our clients, we create these things. So if you have a mystery book, here's the places in which you can sell it. This could be any kind of fiction, it doesn't have to be mystery. But it's selling that there are hospital gift shops that are mystery bookstores, mystery book clubs. There are mystery radio shows, mystery museums. These are all places other than bookstores. But I'm not saying ignore bookstores. What I'm saying is just have a dual distribution. You have bookstores and non-bookstores. And sell those. Because there are mystery bookstores and mystery book clubs. We don't have time to go through all those examples, but I had ways to show that. So let's look at something to at the retail segment. Here you have, you see the arrows on this go both ways. The books are returnable. Anything retail is returnable. Think retail is returnable. And if it's an airport store, if it's a supermarket, if it's a gift shop, they're all returnable. So, this is the general path that you take. You go from the author, the publisher, to the distributor, wholesaler, retailer, and consumer. So it's a circuitous, not circuitous, it's a direct path, but it's something that everybody takes their cut. And the author gets the least of that, and the also gets all the returned books, all the returned products. I just mentioned this guy who had that typo on the back of a book. I got a lot of my books returned from bookstores that had a price sticker on it or torn off, and I couldn't resell them. Some people had like coffee rings on there using it as a coaster. But I sent those to radio shows. Radio shows don't, if they wanted to copy my book, I didn't want to send them a first class copy of it. I sent those to TV shows. But for the radio shows, I sent them any damaged copy, or this guy's, they make that typo on their cover. So let's look at some of these. Creating a distribution. These links don't work. Becky does that. Or David is that.
Yeah, is the Wi-Fi not being happy with you right now? I'm sorry.
Okay, that's all right. We'll skip that.
It's all right. There's not a lot I can do.
That's right. I had a lot of links, but I'll just.
Yeah. Not connection. Sorry, everybody. We love the people here at the next center. Wi-Fi connection, not so much. But
So these are a couple of distributors that there's Reader Link and Sky. Reader Link is probably the biggest one. But if that comes up, it's the Reader Link. This is it's a Reader Link. You can have distribution into almost every one of these non-bookstore areas. Airport stores, supermarkets. And it has the contact us area that you can add, and it has a special place just for publishers to submit books for that. But if you send your books to Reader Link, you want to send it, not just send your book, but send a plan with it, a marketing plan. And if you have a sales history, that's good. But what they're concerned with, what retailers want to buy, or their buying criteria are store traffic, inventory turns, and profit per square foot. So what they want is promotion. So most of your marketing plan should be what promotion you have done and what promotion you will do. That's going to influence their decision on if they take you on or not. Because retailers don't sell books. They don't sell any products. They display them. It's up to the author to sell them, whether it's for bookstores or for whatever. They just display books. Okay, we'll just skip this one for the time being. But if you get a Reader Link, that would be the best distributor. If you have a distributor now, contact them. They may be selling. That's all right, David. We just so get a Reader Link, but check with your distributor now. They may be contacting already selling to airport stores. I know Midpoint does, IPG. These all sell to these buyers. Ingram does, particularly for airport stores, yeah. Okay, this is just, SIMAC is another good one. You're right, David, it's a little slow. SIMAC, S-Y-M-A-K, they sell to variety of stores, discount stores, supermarkets, pharmacies, department stores. So if you get into SIMAC or Reader Link, that's all you need. You don't have to contact a lot of different distributors. So if you go to discount, want to get into discount stores, into Walmart, or want to get into Target, depending who's your target reader. If your target reader is a lower income demographic, then maybe you want to be in Target or Walmart. So upper income demographic, maybe you want to be in Neiman Marcus or in gift shops and cruise ships. So you can get into Reader Link will get you into these discount stores and warehouse clubs, get into BJ's, Costco. But it's not always that good because what they may require is a $2 million insurance policy. If you have a cookbook or something, or anything that's going to get people doing exercises or whatever, you have to have an insurance policy on that. And also, if they haven't worked with you before, they want to have money in escrow for potential returns. So you print 10,000 books, You put money in escrow for returns and they send 5,000 back. It's not a real good way of making money. So just think about, if you have a women's owned business, you go to this WBENC, and they'll help you get into these discount stores and warehouse clubs. Airport bookstores. Airport bookstores have what's called paid to play. You pay like $2,500 a month to have your books there. And you have to sell a lot of books to make that up, just to break even. So what I suggest, go to this other stores. There's a link to the Minneapolis Airport website. They have it's like a shopping mall in there. But you go to the other stores on the concourses. Don't go to the bookstores where you have to pay to play. Go to the other stores. We had one client that wrote a book about how to pack a suitcase. And there was a store that was selling suitcases and luggage. And so if you buy their luggage, you get a free copy of this book with it. So that's a type of programs, no competition, no pay to play, and you're at the airport. So you contact, if you have children's books or books for business travelers, that's the type of place in which you want to be. Supermarkets. Who's the customer of a supermarket? Women? People who eat. Everybody. But it's something that's the shopper there. But these are the types of books that go well. The cookbooks and travel books, children's books sell very well in supermarkets. And so it's something that if you can get into those, then there's a concept of cross-merchandising. That if you have a book on how to cook seafood, get a counter display for bookdisplays.com. We'll create a counter display for you, and then you just put it up on the counter of selling seafood or whatever, or if whatever your book is aligned with, and set up a counter display for that. Choice books. Is it Margot? You were a truck driver?
Yeah,
Choice books will sell to truck stops.
that's what I'm here for.
So,
Huh.
yeah, so that's something that might be a good one for Margot. That's a great story too. But it's something that the audio books sell very well in truck stops, but they also go to pharmacies. So if you have it, it doesn't have to be a health book. I saw that as a CVS store. It was a kiosk, a wire kiosk, and it was children's books, career planning books, the personal finance books, and not just health books. But so they will go there to set up these displays in pharmacies, some supermarkets. But you get that Simax is much more likely to get in supermarkets. But if they don't take you, go to Choice Books. And if you go to choicebooks.org, it has a spot that shows you how to submit books to them. Museums, parks, zoos. You have books that are, there's the Eastern National, runs all the parks in the Eastern U.S., and Western National Parks Association, WNPA, does all the parks in the western part of the U.S. And Event Network sells books to museums, aquariums, other kids' events. So if you have books that are appropriate for those, go to Event Network. And these companies, Event Network particularly, doesn't buy books per se. What they do, they run the whole gift shop. So they're actually hiring people, they're running all the inventory, and they usually buy non-returnable. So one of the few that buys non-returnable in the retail area. But if you have a book for that, books about national parks, these travel books, something like that. That you have, if you have it like Northern California, I think you have a book on that. You have the travel books, right? So it's something that that could be an area for that, non-competitive. But you have to go through Western National Parks Association to get into the parks. And it's just, for Lee's book, what was your book? Was it Northern California?
You travel the best options.
Options for traveling. What we did with a couple, those e-books or just printed?
Printed and e-books.
Okay, so we're working with Expedia now to, and Orbitz, well, I shouldn't tell you this because it's a secret, but it's something that I have to kill you all. But it's if you go to these websites and you buy a ticket to Italy, you get a free download of a book about Italy. Or if you go to airlines that go to fly to Northern California, when you get on the first class seats, they get on there, there's a free book on the seats for you. So that some of the airlines and buy a lot of travel books, so we're trying to get them to buy a lot of travel books, to make that occur. The one thing that we're doing for fiction, another secret, but it should happen, or it may happen. You go to an airline and you're sitting in their waiting lounge, waiting to get on the plane. You got a half hour, an hour flight or whatever. We're setting up vending machines with books in them. So you put your phone up there, you put a credit card in, you get a download of a free book. Not free book, you get a download of a book. But it's something that we're really getting a lot of pushback from the bookstores that are on the concourses. But some of the airlines want to do it. But then the fallback position may be just to get by the books and put those, give them to their elite passengers or their high-ranking passengers, or maybe just in the first class seats. But it's something that we found that to be a good way of getting niche books to these particular people, flyers. Gift shops. It could be Hallmark, it could be Spencer Gift, it could be an airport store, it could be a hospital, hotel, or it could be a hospital gift shop. You gotta think, who's the customer of my customer? And how can you contact those gift shops? There's a website called greatrep.com. And you can put on there that says reps wanted or lines wanted. Reps wanted. You can put a little ad up there, show your book cover and where you need coverage for gift shops. And they generally take about 15% of the net sale. So it's 50% off, they take 15% of the 50%. But there's also a link on there across the menu bar. It just has gift warrants of shows coming up. They have shows that are gift shows that are coming up, and you can contact you can exhibit there, or you can contact the exhibitors and have them sell your book for you. But there are a lot of good opportunities in all sorts of gift shops. We're working with Yankee Candle now on a meditation book. It's a meditation book and DVD. And so you buy candles, and you can get this meditation book with that at a discounted price, or depending on how much you spend on candles, you may get it free. Specialty stores. This is who had the book? Jenny Scott?
Yes, I have.
Oh, but you know that. Your book's about dogs.
Yes.
Go to this, or anybody has a book about pets. This PIDA, Pet Industry Distributors Association. They go to that website and list the wholesalers to Petco, to the stores, the individual stores. So Jenny, you could go there, for example, and you can get a whole list of wholesalers to pet stores.
It's also about personality typing.
For dogs?
Yes. No, it's for people. What kind of dog are you?
You asked me?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I have a black
that's
lab.
what the book is about. What? But that's okay.
Well, if you go to that, or anybody wants to give a cost, Petco or PetSmart, go to PIDA.com and it lists the manufacturers. You can contact them. They may get it if they're selling high-end product, like these cat displays, the cats climb up on them, or dog houses, or whatever. They may give a free copy of your book as a thank you. Spend $100 on pet supplies, there you get a free copy of this book as a thank you. So that's a type of program you can put together, and that's not retail. Those are non-returnable.
Yes.
So they may put their logo on the cover, and then they sell that non-returnable. So that at PIDA, anybody has any kind of pet-related book, it'd be a very good spot to site for it. Non-retail. Do you have any questions about retail? We can answer those now. Do you want to wait?
Oh, we have another 7 minutes before you ask me to speak.
Get it?
So is it generally retailed 50% off?
Is retail generally 50% off? Generally. It's generally called keystoning. They'll buy 50% off and they just double the price. But it's negotiable. If you're working through a distributor, they tell you what your discount will be. But if you do something like with that Petco, where they're giving their books away, then that's negotiable. That's cost plus. But in generally, you'll find that it's 50% off, and then the distributor gets that extra 15%. If they're taking 65 or 70%. So you're doing your pricing, you have to factor that in too. That a discounter if you go to these distributors, they may take 65 to 70%. So if you have a $20 book, they take 70%, you're getting $6. Can your printing structure afford that? So, and profitability. We'll have like 15 minutes towards the end for Q&A, but if anybody has any burning questions on retail. Rob?
Yeah, back to travel books. You know, we're doing a book on California wildflowers. We'll have locations.
We're doing a book on California wildflowers. We'll have locations there. I mean, can you fit that into a travel book? Content? I mean, category?
Botanical gardens. You sell it there.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, you could do that. Or you might sell it to 800 Flowers. We're working the program now with 800 Flowers on, their objective is to sell large bouquets. So what we're doing on Valentine's Day is, if you call up, say, like this bouquet of flowers, and they'll say, that's, well, fine, here it is, but if you order this larger bouquet, you get a free romance novel with it. So they have a choice of romance novels. So maybe something like that might work for them. We're doing the same thing with Victoria's Secret and Munson's chocolate. That if you buy on Valentine's Day, if you buy a certain amount, spend a certain amount of money, you get a free romance, a choice of romance novel with it. Anybody here have a romance novel? Jenny?
Yeah, for somebody who go around and contact all of the different organizations, is there somebody you would recommend, or is that what you do?
Great question. That's what I do.
And
Wait, let me answer your question.
okay,
What we do, we work through a national network of about 60,000 salespeople, and they call on non-retail buyers particularly. They sell 40, it's on a commission program. And I've got some handout, some information on that I'll pass out later.
Yep.
We do that primarily non-retail. For retail, you have to have a distributor.
what do you charge, or do you work a commission?
We have an upfront fee of $250 to be in a catalog. It's a one-time fee for as long as the book is in print. And after that, we pay you 40% of the list price, plus we pay the shipping. They're all non-returnable. These are only for this, what we're talking about now. I've got a handout for that. Dennis?
I have just a kind of question right now.
But, so I have a book about a military book. It's a mystery thriller. It has a big audience in veterans. So I want to get it in the exchanges. And I have to go to the distributors for exchanges, which I did. And so I just want to read Reader Link #1, Hudson #2, which sells all this stuff in them. Anyway, so I go to them. They said, "I'm sorry, you're not on Ingram. We don't buy." I said, "Yes, I am on Ingram." Call Ingram. Ingram calls them. Says, so then she calls me back, lady from the Hudson, and says, "But my people tell me you're not on IPS, and that's the only people we deal with." I said, "What tells IPS?" They said, "Well, Ingram Publishing Services." So then I meet the guy in Berkeley who does Ingram Publishing Services, and he says, "Well, yeah, I mean, we take books, but you have to have already sold 100,000 before we'll take you." So that's the problem with, for me, ReaderLink wouldn't even call me back. So I leave that as a cautionary tale to people who think they can get into the distributors pretty easily.
Let me just follow up on that. There's the website, the exchange, Army Air Force Exchange Service, AAFES.com. It's, they buy a lot of fiction, a lot of children's books. Dennis?
Well, that's where I get the names of the distributors. I
Yeah.
went to them first.
Yeah, they have a list of wholesalers and go to contact those people.
That's who I went to, Hudson and Reader. Those are the guys that deal with.
But they have a-
go there.
They sent me a list of, must have been 30 or 40 different wholesalers they work with. So you have some options. They're more regional.
Yeah.
But if you get a regional wholesaler, then prove what you can sell, and the other regions will pick it up. It's just, I'm trying to think a way to get in there. Another way for the fiction, the exchanges is Navy-Next, the Naval Exchange. They buy a lot of fiction. They don't buy romance, but they do buy a lot of fiction for the sailors on board ship. And it's so you can contact, but there are ways of reaching the military. I have that on another slide here. I just wanted to answer your question, Dennis. Yes.
Because if you want to sell to Costco or your supermarket, don't go to your local store, do you? Don't
If you wanna get to
have have-
Costco.
Don't you have to have the addresses, certain addresses for the national headquarters of these stores or
Okay, the
companies?
question, as I understand the question, do you have to go to national Costco to get in, or can you go to local stores?
Yeah,
You can go to local stores for Costco. We've done that with our clients. The local store product or department managers can buy products for them. So what I suggest, that's a great question, because I didn't bring that up. A great way to get into the Costco is to offer to do an event at their store. They have a road trip where if you do well, then you go to all the other stores. But they don't have to have, the escrow, you don't have to have that insurance policy to do that event. And then you prove to them that you can sell, that your book will sell to their customers. So it's up, but the local store, we've done that with local offers at local Costco stores, that once they show that it can sell there, then they just do a rollout, a regional rollout.
what do you mean, rollout?
Well, it goes from this store to this store to this store, then it sells well, and they go to this store, regionally. Like we do it in Connecticut, then we go up to New England, then we go to Baltimore, Philadelphia.
You don't mean the author has to go all those places?
No, you don't have to. If you want to, you can do that. Well, I suggest also for the airport stores to do it, any retailer, you can do an event. I did some very, very lonely book signings at bookstores. And people didn't want to come in and buy a book. But I did an event. Here's how you get a job. A lot of people came. Oh, by the way, here's my book. So it's the event that draws them in, not to buy your book. Jenny?
If you have multiple books on related topics, do you package them together, or do you suggest, which one to do and just focus on one of them?
Yeah, multiple books on various topics.
No, on related topics.
On related topics, you bundle them. You can, sure. That's what I did with the parents. I sold they had the Job Search 101, Help Wanted, Inquire Within, and the video, Art of Interviewing. Sold that to the parents. Did a little teaser on the envelope. Just spent $69,000 putting your kid through college. What's another $49.95? I didn't say it that way, but that's the point I'm trying to get across. And but it was a bundle, so they pay less for the bundle of 3 books or 3 products than they would each one individually. To follow up on Jenny's point, you can bundle up what we do to some clients that they'll have a front list title and a back list title that's not selling. So you buy this title, you get the back list title for free. And then, but you pay a little, you can pay the price of the front list title, so you're not losing money. But it's a way of offering several products together. So I did that with my booklets in the state of Connecticut and other states. They bought the booklets, and people signed up for unemployment benefits. They got a bundle of booklets, and then they had to watch the video. So bundling is a really good point. Let's go through some of these, then we'll open up the questions. I want to talk about non-retail. Know how customers, how companies can use books. They can they had specialties. You just give them a gift with purchase. If you buy a book or you buy a product like the Munson's chocolate or Victoria's Secret, you buy X amount of lingerie, you get a free book with it. The premium is when you have to do something to get that. You may, the 10th caller to call in for copy of Job Search 101, got a free copy of the book. Could be a gift, could be a coupon. You have a book that's very expensive, could be used as a fundraiser, or a sample. One of our clients had a book about 101 ways to organize an office. And a paper company bought the rights to that in the paper industry. What they did, they printed the booklet up, and each page was a different sheet of paper that they sold. So they used this as a giveaway, which was a sample of their paper, but also as 101 ways to organize an office. So they got some value from that too. But these are just different things. We went Purina, for Jenny's book again, but Purina wanted to sell, their objective is to sell 20 pound bags of dog food. So we put a coupon on the package for a free download of a dog care ebook. So you buy their dog food, instead of this one, they're both the same price, but here I get a free ebook with it. So we tested putting a book actually in the bag versus the ebook, and it was just, the ebook was a lot more, we had a variety of ebooks people could download, either Kindle or a Nook. So these are just ways in which you can do that. Manta.com, if you want to find out names of companies to contact, go to manta.com, M-A-N-T-A. You can sort those by industry. So those are those that, companies that are in health and manufacturing and whatever, but it gives you the contact information, the name of the person to contact, the phone number, email address. So it's a great source of information. I have to go through a little bit fast on this because for time reasons, but just if you write down at manta.com, that's really all you need to know for that. Associations.